all that you did for us yesterday. And you have brought us here again today. We want to say a big thank you to you. Please accept our thanks in Jesus' name. Father, we ask, give us grace, not just to be hearers only, but to be doers of that which we have come to learn in Jesus' name. You've brought us here. Grant us journey mercy back home in Jesus' name. And the organizer of this program, we ask that you will keep encouraging them. You will keep supporting them in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you because it is done. Be the Alpha and the Omega of this program. In Jesus' name, we have prayed.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Please, let's celebrate Jesus in the life of our pastor. All right. Thank you very much. You may please take your seats majestically and joyfully too. So welcome to day 2. Who's happy to be here? Who's happy to be here? Some people are not happy. If your neighbor is not happy, better nudge that neighbor. Who's happy to be here? Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. So welcome to day 2 of the 2026 ReadManna Digital Educators Conference and Exhibition. The theme for this year, as we know, is building Edtech capacity for educators. Building Edtech capacity for educators. And yesterday, the founder of ReadManna Empowerment Initiative demonstrated this clearly in several ways. The first and the main way that this was demonstrated yesterday was the lineup of speakers that we had, even right from the chairman who challenged us about what quality of teacher we are. What kind of educator are you? Are you an educator who has not been into the world that you want to lead your learners through? So he challenged us, and then we moved on to Prof, and he shared with us what he did in Ogun State. And one thing that resonated strongly with me yesterday, and it's still ringing in my head, that you don't need to have everything perfect. What you need to do is to be determined to achieve something good. And then we went on to Mr. Amao, who shared with us, and then Walby shared with us as well. And the other way that ReadManna Empowerment Initiative has demonstrated this theme is that they gave out tools, laptops. So it's not just talk now. It's not just teaching us or sharing with us what we should be doing in this time and age. It's about empowering us with tools. Isn't that right? And then we went into the classes, and then we got a lot more. Can we give a resounding round of applause to Mrs. Edna Augusto? It's one thing for you to have grace to do something. It's another thing for you to actually do it. And it's another thing for you to do it for a set of complete strangers. How many of us are related to her? How many of us are related to her? How many of us come from her village? None. How many of us are directly linked to her? You slept in her house last night. In fact, how many of us really know her? How many of us know her birthday? None of us. So it just tells you that, we should continue to bless God when we find Nigerians like this who do things because they want to bless the nation. Another round of applause to her, please. So I'm just going to share a rundown of what to expect today. We will kick off our first speaker for the day, Mrs. Ndidi Ukano is here. She's here, she's set to go. All right. I'm not calling her up yet. I'm just sharing what we're going to do. So she will speak to us about beyond the classroom, what next? You've gathered all sorts. And when I was wrapping up my segment yesterday, I said something to you. I said, what I do today is a potpourri of many, many things I gathered in the classroom. There's so many things. So beyond the classroom, what can you do with your skills? I've been out of the classroom for over 15 years now, if not more, certainly more than 15 years. But I am still very much in education. I still impact students indirectly. So for you, what next after the classroom? So she will speak to us about that. Then we have Moyosore Ashubiojo, who will talk to us about AI in education. Now, when we say anything, everybody says AI. We all throw it around, AI. And we find some people who do work with AI, but they do some of the most ridiculous things that you can ever imagine. Imagine somebody putting in a prompt, and AI generates something for you, and you copy the entire thing and you just paste and you send. And AI, you have included all the options. You know, when you put in a prompt and it gives you, at the bottom of it, it will generate also options that it can do for you next. Do you want me to turn this to that? Do you want me to create this? And they copy everything and paste. But this person is going to tell us how we can use AI constructively. I know many of us already know how to, but you always learn. You should have an open heart. No matter who is talking and what they're talking about, keep an open heart, and you find out that you can learn from anybody, even the youngest of children. Then we'll have a raffle draw. We have 5 laptops today. I believe we had a... A round of applause to you. A serious, a resounding one. I truly, truly love you guys. I know that if we don't give out the 6 today, I was going to say 5, and I know we had one left over from yesterday. I know. And we're not going to deprive you of it. And in fact, I'm going to make a special request. I don't know how possible this is. The one we have left, I know Ogun State people have received. Can we make sure we give it to the MCEs in our midst who have been here at least 3 times? Is it possible? MCEs who have been coming regularly to the conference for at least 3 years. And yours, you can put it to that. I don't know how we're going to get their names, but let's restrict it to them. If it's something we can do, I mean, those are your babies. They've been coming in and out for at least 3 years. MC is in the house. Do I have a yes from you? Do you agree? She will determine it, and I trust her. But please make it available to people who are committed to this conference. That's the important thing. And then we're going to have the next person, Ayotola Jagun. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like it's a day of women. Yeah. From the names I see here, I haven't met... Okay, Deji. So we have an Okonlawan in their midst. Anyway, that's good. It just shows you that women are powerful. It shows you women by nature are nurturers and teachers. Celebrate. In fact, women, stop clapping. All the men in this house, can you rise to your feet and celebrate these women? All the men. I have the mic. Oh. I have the mic. All the men, thank you. Rise to your feet and celebrate the women. Thank you. You may please be seated. As you have honored, may the Lord honor you in return. No problems. I know the people who did not sit, who did not stand. They sat down looking at me like that is okay. Okay, when you honor and celebrate others, you are just sowing. You are sowing into your own future, so it's okay. All right, so Ayotola Jagun is going to speak to us along the line as well. Then we'll have more raffle draws. In fact, since we have 6, we're going to have... and by the way, I have one I'm giving out. Thank you, Mrs. Augusto. And I will decide how that goes. It's going to be fair. It's going to be a draw as well. But we'll see how that goes. Then we have Ayodeji, the Okonlawan in the midst of all these speakers today, who will be talking about equipping teachers to equip students. Anything you do that does not add value or doesn't contribute to your empowering your students, honestly, you have wasted your time. Your contract as a teacher is to empower students. Isn't that so? The same way the contract that medical doctors have is to save lives. So when they do things that will not save a life, they failed. And as a teacher, if you go into that office or school day to day and you're not doing that actively, whether you are working on a document, if that document is not going to empower students, you've wasted your time. So please, let's be conscious. So Ayodeji is going to speak to us about that. And then we have Mrs. Adejoke Chukuma, who's going to talk about embracing technology for excellence in teaching in the Nigerian educational system. She's going to put a lot of context to that. This is someone who's been in education for a while. And the beauty is that she was in banking, then came into education, and found that when you already have a profession and then you come into education, perspective is always different and is always stronger. So that's something to look forward to. And then we close that segment with yet another raffle draw. We have lunch, and then we move into our master classes. Whilst we're just waiting for our speaker to finish, just sorting out her tech, I'm going to ask a few volunteers. As a teacher now, you know how we like to get feedback. So I want a few people. How many classes? We had 6. So I want one person from each of our classes that we had yesterday to just give us feedback. And the kind of feedback I'm looking for, I don't want you to come and rehash what the lecturer said, no, or your facilitator said yesterday. That's not what I'm looking at for. What I want to hear is what you did and how you are going to apply. So really it's about what you are going to do differently with the knowledge you acquired. Simple. What knowledge did you acquire? Know that one. Now, what I want you to share with us is how you're going to apply that knowledge to teaching differently when you get into your class. So IC3 fundamentals. IC3 fundamental. Yes, my lady, please come up quickly. Cyber security. In fact, I'm going to call everybody out so you are close by. Come, you are talking about, take your position, you are talking about IC3 fundamentals. Cyber security. Who are the people in the cyber security room? Cyber security, nobody. Ha, who is this? Okay, please come up, please come up. I see that hand at the back, way at the back. The ladies have started shining again today. Come up, come up, come up. You're a teacher. Energy into your steps, please. HTML and CSS. HTML and CSS. Don't end these facilitators' queries, because if we don't have anybody talking about what they did and what they will use, what they learned for, then we will have a challenge with them. Python, please come up, sir, very quickly. AI, artificial intelligence. Yes, sir, please come up. The gentleman in the blue shirt. Sorry, MCE, I'm going to go there. MCE. Ha. Yes, sir, please join them. All right, artificial intelligence. Who's artificial intelligence? You? We're not doing is closed book. The question is very simple. We know you learned. What you learn, how are you going to use it differently in your class? Learning is about transformation. How are you going to use it differently? That's all. Please go on. Your name, your school.
I'm Mrs. Bamboshe Lois from Deeper Life High School, Mowe. I was in the IC3 for Computing Fundamentals class. And I was able to learn that this computing fundamental is the foundation of computing.
What are you going to use it for? How will you apply it?
I learned how the facilitator was able to use the Welby board to bring out some of the devices we were learning in the class to show us physical kind of instructional materials while he was teaching. So I've learned that I will also apply that. We have the Welby boards in our school. I will be able to as I get back, while facilitating the students again in the next cohort, I'll be able to collaborate with the board, with the students to be able to teach them better. Thank you, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Who's the next person? She is. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Just stay.
Okay, good morning, all. So for the cybersecurity class, my name is Christiana Idafiogo, Corona Day Secondary School, Abidjan. So the few things that
Which
I learned.
school? We didn't hear you mumbled.
I said Corona Day Secondary School,
Excuse me.
Abidjan.
Can you say it, Carry that name well.
My name is Christiana Idafiogo, Corona Day Secondary School, Abidjan. So one of the things that we learned yesterday, and I think I'll take back to class, is more of knowing the threats that are out there for cybersecurity, the links.
Can you hear her?
Okay, so while preparing your lesson plan, lesson notes,
okay, so
we go through.
Take a deep breath. Use your teacher's voice and the mic.
Okay.
Project your voice.
Okay, can you hear me now? All right. So while preparing your lesson notes, your lesson plan, definitely we're using internet, you're using resources. So we learned certain things to look out for when you're downloading things, when you're trying to get resources. We have a lot of things that have been disguised
How
on
are
the
you going
internet.
to apply that?
So we're applying that by being careful and then making sure that in your lesson, the things that you would want to display to the students in your lesson, you're being careful of the cybersecurity threats and making sure that you do not have something that would damage your system. We learned a lot of things yesterday. So for us, it's not really about the classes though, but things to avoid while using the internet so that it doesn't ruin your lesson.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Mic to the next person. All right. Your name, your school, the class you were in.
Good morning, man.
Mono.
Permit me to stand on the already established
Can you
protocol.
hear him?
Permit me to stand on the already established protocol.
Okay.
My name is Ojora Aziz Olasheni from State Senior High School, Oyewole. So I was in Python class yesterday. So we were able to learn basics, the fundamentals of Python programming.
What are you going to do with what
Yes,
you
what I'm
learned?
going to do with it. Actually, I'm in charge of Jet Club and Lego Robotics in my school, State Senior High School, Oyewole, Agege. So I plan to coach my students better so that they become better critical thinkers. Already we use Crash for Lego Robotics. Python can also be used. So I want to encourage them to use Python to improve critical thinking and problem solving. Thank you.
All right. Artificial intelligence.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Victor, and I work for Teach for Nigeria. I was in the AI class, and one thing that stuck with me in that class was how to strike a balance between AI usage and AI dependence. So the lecturer said that one thing that makes AI special is that it pays attention. Yes, it does pay attention, but people no longer pay attention. So I want to look for ways to ensure that the children that I teach indirectly are paying attention. In that way, they are not over-dependent on AI, and they can still use their heads, think critically. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think that's something, even if you didn't attend that class, that's something you should take away. AI dependence is something to look out for. Thank you. Yes.
Shokwejolushe is the name. Deeper Life High School. I was in MCE. Collaboration is what I actually took home. And in collaboration, where we are taught every input must count. Not
what
just.
are you going to do?
So
with
the
that?
students, when we bring them together in a group, we should ensure that every one of them contributes at one point or the other, not just sitting down and then saying we are in a group. That is what we are going to do.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to invite Mrs. Edna Augusto to please come up and take a picture with this group for posterity's sake. Years from now, we will be referring to this. When I was calling, they should come down. Okay, so sorry, ma. Please go down and join her and take a picture. So when you are asked, you never can tell what else. And if it was that we were going to say, okay, let's MTN, give them gifts, you've missed out on it. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You can go take your seats. Thank you. So at least that will tell you that throughout the day, please pay attention so that you won't, you'll be able to say exactly what you will do with what you've learned. It's really not about gathering knowledge, it's about applying. There's someone who defined wisdom as the correct application of knowledge. So if you're going to be a wiser teacher, it means you have to continue to apply and apply in very different ways. You want them? All right. Okay, so our first speaker of the day, our guest speaker, is here. And I mentioned that she will be speaking about beyond the classroom, what next. And to take this, I will just share her background, or share her bio with you. Our speaker is a transformational leader with over 26 years experience in financial services, including 12 years in senior management within a leading African multinational bank. She's a former CEO of a wealth management firm and the founder of the Entrepreneur Project, where she equips professionals and emerging leaders to maximize their potential and thrive at work. She's the author of the Entrepreneurial Revolution series and creator of the 40+ accelerator course focused on career growth, purpose, and workplace excellence. Ndidi is a fellow of ACCA and the Institute of Credit Administration, a certified financial planning and wealth management professional, and holds an advanced management program from Lagos Business School. With executive training from Harvard, Wharton, ISA, she's also a much sought after speaker. She's featured on the platform and TEDx. Currently, she's a doctoral student at Lagos Business School researching on entrepreneurship. Ndidi brings a rare blend of strategic insight, technical expertise, and purpose-driven leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me and welcome very warmly Ndidi Ukaonu.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not sure that I actually want that round of applause. I want you to celebrate Mrs. Edna Augusto and the ReadManna team. Fun fact, 26 years ago when I started my career, I managed Mrs. Augusto's account, Manna Books. So I have my history with her is as long as my career has been, actually. And thank you very much. I know you've always been passionate about impacting people, and I'm right up your alley. So is it possible to help me move this aside? Because I want everybody interacting with the slide. All right, thank you. All right, we can see the screen, right? All right. So when I introduce myself, I really just say that I'm the trigger you didn't know that you needed. This is not my job. This is my impact work. I'm still a finance industry professional, okay? But you will understand with time why I do this. But I came to shift you. And a lot of what I've been building in this platform that I set up called the Entrepreneur Project is founded on people finding purpose, because as I went through my own career journey, I started to discover things that we all should be discovering earlier. And in the course of that, I did write a series of books. The fourth one is about to come out, The Power of Work, Career Navigator. People like this one, The Art of Managing Your Boss. And then there's a fourth one which should be out this month, The Good Boss Syndrome. But today we're going to focus more on the journal, the 40 Plus Accelerator. Can you see me? Next slide. Next slide. So we're going to start with some life math. Mathematics teachers in the house. X equal to your age. Put your age there. The outcome of this mathematics, it is, so 80 represents the life expectancy in the world is about 79 points. All right? Then people will tell you, oh, but Nigeria is 50. Yeah, but the truth is that one doctor told me that it's because we have a very high mortality rate, infant mortality. So that way you back it out, we are right there with the rest of the world. You are with me, Abby? Somebody has said in their mind already that, boy, Ndidi, what if I don't live to 80? My response is, what if you do? What if you live to 90? Every day we are celebrating 70, 80. Somebody is always calling us, my mother, my father is my... Am I correct? So, if you are 40, how many more years do you have to give the world? What did they say your retirement age is? Okay, so if you reach retirement age, how many more years do you still have? You know what's funny about this thing? Think about when you started working till date. You will find that for a lot of people, the answer to this question is actually a number higher than how long you have been working. Next slide. And then a lot of people tell us, I created this model when I was asked to teach on a topic called career GPS. And I just thought how best to explain it from my journey and a lot of the people around me. But what I want you to see today is, we all tend to think of our career as a bell curve, correct? That I will be working. I will struggle, I will make it. Then I will start to retire. Correct? But when I looked around me, I discovered that that's not necessarily true. The idea of retirement, as Mrs. Augusto is showing us today by her own life's work, is a decision. Am I going to stay up coasting? Am I going to take off on a different tangent? Or am I going to decline? Next slide. And what's interesting about this for me is we are trying to decline our participation in the world at the time when we are at the height of knowledge, experience, skill, probably disposable income. People argue with me about that. But I say it because more often than not, at the time when you tell yourself, I'm about to retire, your children have left home, they are more independent, you are likely not paying school fees, or you are at the end of the days of paying major school fees, correct? Okay. And then, when you have built yourself up to be able to give the utmost, that's the time when, for some reason, the mentality is to exit. Just doesn't make sense to me. Are you with me? So, something else that I call the paradox of life. And I think this one for me is a God factor. When you have probably attained success, When you have told yourself, in fact, this money that I've made, the way I'm going to be eating, I've made it. What do the doctors tell you? Reduce what you are eating. You are with me, Abi? My sister, God will bless you. Eat twice a day. Then you'll be here intermittent fasting. Slow down. Your gut needs to rest. Gut bacteria. You are with me? Let me share another paradox with you. Just when you have made it, you built your mansion, 7 bedrooms. As soon as you have called us for housewarming, 1 year later, you and your spouse, you have started whispering in the bedroom, now should we not just look for flats? This house is too big, oh. Let's downsize. I like that you're laughing because me, I'm in that situation right now. Your house is empty. You are keeping room for children that you know are not coming back. Even when they visit you, once they've stayed 3 days, Airbnb. You are with me? That's the paradox of life. What is he saying to us? Ask a lot of people, what will you do at retirement? The most thing you hear, men will say, I'll play golf. Women will say, I will do. How many omugo will you do? So this is just God helping me make my case. You see that thing? It is in this space. And this is how you bridge it. Transcend. That's what I came to talk to you about. Because the truth is that, next slide, a lot of people are not preparing for what I think perhaps is the most fulfilling, most significant part of your life. And I want you to start to think about it. And it has something to do with the way you are probably doing your work today. So I put up some pictures so that maybe we will learn. Our own very Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Somebody should Google her age. Google it now. Are you sure? When did she become DG of World Trade Organization? Check it. What age now? Hey, give me my phone so that me too I'll be checking. I mean it, Google it. The second guy, his name is Alan Greenspan. Alan Greenspan used to be the president of the U.S. Federal Reserve, which is our own equivalent of central bank. He left that job at 80. And when he left, he went to go and start his own business. Yes. Let me talk about the last one. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Colonel Sanders. He founded that KFC. All of us are jumping up and down. Colonel was 60 or so when he established it. And do you know who that pretty old woman is? May Musk. That's Elon Musk's mother. But unlike a lot of you and I, who think we pray for our children to make it so that they'll take care of us, she's not a trust fund parent. May Musk was in her 70s when she started becoming she was always a model, but she was modeling on the wrong way in Sports Illustrated, Vogue, and all that. Iya Onigba, the actual representation of Iya Onigba. I'm not from your village. No, but I should get it right too. I was raised in Lagos. Corona School, shout out. Yeah, ex-student, Corona Bagada. All right? But you get my point. So Why am I talking about this? You know, if you are getting older, you are at the point where midlife crisis wants to finish you. But the thing is that a lot of people are not talking about it. People feel that if they talk about it, they've admitted that they failed. But a number of people, especially last year, which was why I did this project, the 40 Plus Accelerator, started to speak to me about it. And you are asking yourself, what have I achieved in my life? It's not a bad thing, actually. I discovered, because I went through it, it's almost like you want to enter depression. But let me tell you the truth. The truth is that I believe that that thing is a God-given check for you to start your transition of purpose, living differently. And so you have been hearing, next slide, entrepreneur. It's important that we establish who an entrepreneur is. Let's say this together. 1, 2, go. No. I like my class. If they hear my voice, I must hear your own. Okay? 1, 2, go. Dreamers who do. Dreamers who do. You know, when I first started hearing this word, I thought it was the opposite of entrepreneur. And so it's used interchangeably with employee. I want to scatter your bubble. The word entrepreneur does not mean employee. They are not one and the same. I want to say amen. You can be an employee. Google it. Google the word employee. It just says someone who has taken a job to be paid a salary. Finish. That cannot be my life. That all I'm in a job for is to be paid. Some people are getting uncomfortable. That's not it. There has to be more to life. And I'm going to be challenging your thinking on so many fronts. Because, you know, sometimes I've asked myself, what is the point of life? My parents trained me. I went through school. I got a job in GTBank. I met Mrs. Augusto. I was doing my work, correct? Then in the process, I was just earning money so that as I'm having my own children, they too I can train them, they too they can enter. Then another person will come and do the same cycle. That's what we call the rat race. A life that doesn't have purpose or real meaning. But you know, the guy who coined this word, the first thing he starts with, which struck me, is he says, dreamers who do. The more I interact with people like us who do a 9 to 5, I find that we have a lot of dreamers who don't and doers with no dream. Very rarely do you find people who are true entrepreneurs. And how do you know them? He states it very clearly, that they create innovation. Thank God it's a digital literacy conference. But the truth is that even though we like to think that innovation is only synonymous with technology, innovation of any kind means a variety of things. And my most beautiful example always is, if you came in here and this was your school, and you just thought, oh, you know, the sitting in the classroom is such that the children are not interacting enough. And you switched it and tested it for something and rearranged the class in a way that there is more participation and applied it eventually to the entire school because it's proven to work. You are an entrepreneur. But you know, for you to be truly an entrepreneur, you have to have an entrepreneur's mindset. Next slide. There is something that shifts about the way the entrepreneur thinks, and he sees life as a continuum. And I will explain that as we go further down the line. But you know, the point here is he sees that what he's doing today is connected to his tomorrow. That everywhere he walks is connected to who he will eventually be at the end of time. Next slide. And people say, oh, they've not heard of the word before. You kind of have, but you don't realize it. Do you know who the entrepreneurs are? At least the closest thing to entrepreneurship in the country is this: the Igbo apprenticeship system. I say, indeed, why? Because those are dreamers who do. Think about the average apprentice. What's he chasing? He knows that after serving, as you are serving, that at the end of the day, he's likely going to build his own. And the severity of the way he applied himself to the work is going to determine the outcome of his own venture. And we'll talk a bit more about that at the end of the day. Are you with me? So the idea that, I beg, this is their own business, I pity you. And that's why this guy, there's nothing he will not take in the process of doing this. Because he has a dream in front of him that he's chasing with all his life. A lot of us, because all that we think about our life is, what is the naira and kobo that I'm earning today? We're missing the real point of why we're on the journey. And this is what I came to challenge. Next slide. The truth is, if you see things from a different angle, it will change everything. And I ask you this morning to keep your mind open. Let me make my case. Data from the Igbo apprenticeship system has shown us that you have 68% of businesses that are built under that structure survive post 5 years setup. But that we barely have 22% of other businesses that are built outside of that structure survive. And there's a reason. Science has proven it. I'm a doctoral student, like you heard, and I'm actually studying entrepreneurship. That's the area of my thesis. And I will show you, I've updated my presentation for what I have discovered about science. What science says about this matter. So it is tested. Something called the entrepreneurial self-efficacy. And I will just touch on it briefly because students cannot be teaching teachers. What do we need to do? You know, everything that you are doing in the middle process, I'm grateful for the training that you have. Everything is working in the space of process. Mrs. Augusto or Manna is trying to prepare you to deliver a better result. Are you with me? So this is where you are on this course. But please celebrate Mrs. Augusto. She has now gone beyond dealing with this to ask you to dig out your why. And that's why she asked me to come this morning. Why do you walk? Why really do you walk? Why? A lot of times when I ask this question and I write it in the book, people start to default to the rat race. You start here, I want to provide for my family, which is a great reason. I want to support my parents. Good. I want to support my husband. Correct. I want to be able to buy the nice things. Very good. But I will show you what else science tells you. But before we get there, next slide. I ask you, between you and the job, who is getting the most? Why are we quiet now? Talk now. Talk now. The job. Okay. I'm ready. Do we have time? I can argue this thing with you. And guess what? Me too, I'm a 9 to 5er. Hey, who is with me? Okay. You think it's the job. But let's do the analysis. What's the job getting? Money and what? Not even all of them get brand. Correct? You, what are you getting? Skill, knowledge, experience, mentor, sponsor, relationships, network, monetary compensation, opportunities. But let me go to the very top. Because every time I talk about knowledge, people think that the knowledge that you get at work is this one that you are doing now, Abi. They trained you to be a teacher training that happens in the course of work. I always tell people that I learned how to make native soup in the office. Some people's marriages are saved in the office. But the reason some of us are not gathering that knowledge or level of skill is because we're not opening ourselves to commit or to engage with what we're doing. But the bottom line is that, we started at how many more years, what you have to give drama, correct? Everything you collect in this journey is going to ultimately determine how good that the last leg of your race will be. Next slide. I don't want to dig more into it. Entrepreneurial self-efficacy. So what did science tell us? Science tells us that this phenomenon is created by your continued engagement, active engagement at work. That the people whose entrepreneurial self-efficacy is high are likely to build a business that truly succeeds. It's not me, it's science. Until I started doing this program, I'd never actually heard of this. I just always used to tell people that there's something about when you are fully engaged. But this is the word for it. So every time you're disconnected, you have actually disconnected yourself. And I think I've earned the right to say it because I am on that journey as we speak. The network that you have is incredible. The way you treat parents. In fact, I like to tell a story. So I worked at GTBank for so many years. I worked in Abuja also. And while I was there, I used to talk about this thing when we have 7 a.m. customer service meeting. And I'll say, you are working for yourself. So this guy, Ayo used to tell me a story. In fact, I should be putting Ayo's picture up at this point. Ayo came to look for me years later and came to tell me a story. He had left the bank. And he said, Ma, I just want to tell you something. I said, okay. He was a teller in the bank. Tellers are contract staff, typically. And he told me that, when he used to say those things there, when I go home, I'll go and tell my wife, we will laugh. We will laugh. He said at a point, he used to go on and on about it. That my wife now said, maybe you should actually listen to this woman. And so he decided that, okay, he would open his heart and try and take in the things that I was talking about and do differently. He said, Ma, I didn't know that somebody was watching me. It turns out that there is this white man who used to come to the bank, who loved the way he was working. The man will come and do his transaction and go. Come and do his transaction and go. He said that, Ma, do you know that one day this man came, in doing his transaction, he started talking to me. The man poached him from bank into presidency. The story never finished. Now don't they say, wait. He said from that presidency, he entered one project like this. From that project, Ayo is in America. He got his green card before he left here with his family. The last time he spoke to me, he called. He wanted his children to say hello. I saw all of them. They were in high because somebody chose that for the sake of myself, I will engage. Hey. Next slide. So this is where we begin to end our story. I read this phenomenal book called Halftime. In fact, it's a series. Halftime, Beyond Halftime, Finishing Well by Bob Buford. When I was going through midlife crisis. And I came on the concept of what I call, I don't even know why he didn't call it the 4S. I call it the 4 S's. We often think about our life as we will struggle. Are you with me? Then we will do what? Succeed. And we think that we are done. But Buford shows us that you move from struggle to success, success to significance, and then you surrender. And I'll tell you that what is so interesting about this for me, next slide, is that years ago, we came upon the theory of human motivation by Abraham Maslow. And Abraham Maslow tells us in his theory that, look, let us plot why we do what we do. Physiological needs. Food, clothing, shelter. Abi? When you first are looking for a job, you just say, I just want to be independent. Let me just have my own house. Correct? Once you have your own house, the next thing you start looking for more. Personal security. That's when you start hearing, Okokomaiko is not such a good environment anymore. Abi? But nothing do you there see so. Abi? You have HMO cover. You want to be safe. He says the next thing that drives us is love and belonging. Friendship, intimacy. All these things I'm saying, we'll be looking at the one your job is giving you. Did the job meet you here? He gave you money now for house, rent. Abi? Did he meet you here? HMO? Medical cover, Abi? Did he meet you here? He didn't meet you. You bewitch. You bewitch. Oh yeah, I'll prove you wrong. How many people here married their colleague? There's nowhere I go that somebody will not raise hand. How many people here have made friends who are as close as sisters? See many hands. How many people here just made friends? Not school, eh? Okay? But some hands that are not going up, I want you to be questioning yourself. Are you engaged? Right? So, work is helping you here. Right? There are some people who are even like family. People have shown that they have married their colleagues. Thank you to the proprietor of the school. Is work meeting you here? Esteem. The title. Why are you struggling for head teacher? So that your shoulder will come up now. Even if the difference is 20K. But ultimately, where are we? Abraham Maslow says that you are going to keep chasing and chasing and chasing after life until what? Let's read it together. And I'm saying to you that your desire to become everything that you can be in this life is going to be fueled by everything you take on the journey of the job that you're doing today. The quality of the outcome of how you actualize will be down to how well you have engaged and what you have taken on this journey. And let's not talk about, move on. Let's go to sigmoid curve. So let me just tell you what to do and we end. Yeah. This is the way you should be thinking. You have probably gone through your learning phase. You are probably in your growth phase today, right? You have to start to think about those final 20 years, 30 years, 25 years of your life. What is the impact that you're going to be making on the earth? Because until your life is making meaning for others, you haven't truly lived. And I think that as teachers, you are so well positioned because you have so many children under your care that you want to impact. You see, a lot of famous people talk about their teachers. And if you don't start to think about your impact in the world, decline will eventually meet you. But people who reinvent can reinvent again and reinvent again and live a more fulfilled life. That's what you're struggling with on the inside. Next slide. And this is our last. I ask for you to stand up. Let's breathe in. Out. I want you to take the tip pledge with me. And this pledge is a commitment to changing the way you are engaging so that you can be fulfilled later in life. When either you build your impact platform or you build your business, whatever it is. Because one of the things that you get from being engaged is opportunity. Your work is going to show you what nobody else is doing in the world. You will produce a solution for and be renowned for it. Are you with me? So let's take this pledge together. I want to go. Again. One last time. So see you on the other side of greatness. Well done, guys.
Don't go yet. Ladies and gentlemen, is that all you are going to do? Is that all you are going to do? And I want us to actually shout, thank you. Again. Thank you so much. You can please be seated. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
So we've gotten to that point again. Participants, what should you be doing now? You know the drill. Mrs. Aguso wants to know how many people prayed all night, vigil, how many people are fasting right now because they must win this. So we've given out 4 laptops and we have 6 to go.
Wow.
So would like you to please draw from this.
Give me my own raffle ticket too.
No. Are you praying?
Suspects. Who is this person? This person is from Dowen College. Tolulope Yinka Babalola.
Thank you so much.
Don't be jealous, celebrate.
Congratulations. And thank you so much, Miss. Thank you so much, Ndidi. No, it's mine. It's mine. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, no, I'll come down. I'll come down. Our next speaker in the house, right after this photo, I will call her up. Thank you. Okay, another good news. Can we celebrate MTN? Just clap for them first, then I'll tell you. So we have the first 100 people, the first 100 to arrive this morning are going to get a gift from MTN, a MiFi. However, you must activate it before you leave here. So we'll do that during lunchtime. And more speakers are in the house. Mrs. Joke Chukuma has just walked in, so we will continue very quickly. Our next speaker is going to be talking to us about AI. So I'm going to just wait for you to be ready. Are we ready? Are we ready? The way I will know, the way to show your readiness is silence. The way to show your readiness is silence. So when you keep fine, thank you so much, everyone. So our next speaker, Moyosore Ashubiojo, will be talking to us about AI in education. She's a business leader with a track record of building and scaling high-impact enterprises across technology, finance, and education. Moyosore is the general manager of Edtech Global. She brings over a decade of cross-industry experience spanning banking, aviation, fintech, corporate governance, and education technology. As general manager, at Venture Garden Group, she led and scaled high-performing operations across multiple portfolio companies with responsibility for customer experience, product operations, sales operations, and enterprise-wide business transformation. Moyosore also has deep expertise in corporate governance and investor relations, having managed board and investor engagement at the group. She holds an MBA in finance and investment and is certified in risk management and is widely recognized for her work in operational excellence, business transformation, and strategic relationship management. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome warmly Moyosore Ashubiojo as she takes the next session.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes, I have.
So wait a minute. So we should leave it there.
That's okay.
That's fine. It's okay.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all the distinguished teachers and school owners that are here, and I'm happy to be in your midst to be talking to you today about AI in education. I'm sure you'll be wondering, what is AI in education? Do I really need it? I'm a teacher. I'm a school owner. The world is moving. Sometime last week, one of the teachers in my daughter's school approached me and said, I'm tired of teaching. Is it possible for me to do something else in technology, in a tech company? Can you basically just help me to, expand my experience? And then I looked at her and said, teaching is super important. You impact a lot of lives. The other speaker was just talking about, impact. I admire teachers a lot. For instance, I'm a daughter of a professor, and I always tell people that the teaching industry, for instance, is one that people always look down on because you look at it that you don't get well paid. But the amount of impact, we give to the life of our children and even ourselves that we are standing today, we pass through school. It is you teachers that taught us to where we got to today. And there's so much more you can do with the knowledge you have. And that is why today I'm going to be speaking to us about AI in education, the importance of it, what you can do, and how that can transform how you teach in the classroom. So, one of the questions, please next slide. One of the questions we may be asking is, do I really need AI? AI is going to replace me. That's the common knowledge. That's the common saying that everybody always talks about. That I don't want AI. I don't want to embrace it. I've met a couple of people that would say, I don't want AI. I like the traditional way of doing things. But trust me, for you to succeed as a teacher or as an educationist, you need to adopt AI. Because AI is not going to replace you. It's only going to replace those that do not understand the use of AI. Right? One of the things I always tell people or teachers I encounter in different schools is to tell them that you need to embrace AI. For instance, you're preparing your, lecture notes. How long does it take you to prepare your lecture notes? How long does it take you to mark your scripts? These are things that if you adopt the AI tool, it helps you to be able to work faster. Things that would naturally take you like 24 hours to prepare, you can actually do it in 10 minutes. And I want to encourage you today, and I hope by the time I'm done talking to you about AI in education, a lot of you in this room would adopt the use of AI in preparing your lesson notes, in even setting your questions for your students. Because there is a great lesson that people need to learn from teachers, aside from the physical skills that you give to your students. There are some other soft skills that AI cannot take away. AI can only help you to be efficient. But the emotional parts that you impact in the lives of the children or in the life of your students, AI cannot take it away. So please have it at the back of your mind that AI is not here to replace teachers, but it's only here to enhance and make you more efficient. And only those who adopt AI would actually move forward. Teachers that do not adopt AI are the ones that AI is going to replace. Please let's get that straight. Teachers that do not adopt AI are the ones that are going to be replaced because every employer is looking for efficiency. People that can deliver the work faster than regular traditional teachers. Same applies in the corporate world. So please, if you've not adopted AI, today is the day. And hopefully by the time I'm done going through the slide, you'll be able to see why AI is super important. For instance, how many hours did you spend on writing your lesson notes, marking your scripts, explaining the same topic repeatedly, preparing scheme of work, even examination questions, reports, and the likes? These kind of students we have today, they are AI students. They even know more than us, their parents, and even their teachers. And you need to appeal to their emotions. A lot of them are visual learners. They don't want to learn the regular traditional way. They want you to come to class and tell me, oh, I'm teaching you X, Y, Z, and also showing it to them. A lot of them are visual learners. And how do you as teachers go with the flow? Know how to appeal to their emotions. Know how to be able to get them to learn faster. If you just come to the board and you're just scribbling on the board and saying, no, I want you to learn X, Y, Z, you will actually get them disconnected. For instance, my daughter is a visual learner. I always have to tell any teacher that is a teacher to say, see, if you want to get the attention of these students, you have to show us something, not the theoretical aspect. Yes, the theoretical aspect is there, but with AI, there are so many things that you can bring to the classroom to show them as you are looking at, oh, okay, this is the topic we are talking about today. You are explaining and you are showing. Those are the areas where sometimes in Nigeria we lag behind. And then we need to move forward. We need to be ahead of the game. We need to help our students to understand better. It also helps us as teachers as well to be able to understand what we want to teach. It helps us to be super efficient. It helps us to prepare our notes faster. For instance, you're looking at your lesson notes. How long does it take you to write it? With AI solutions that I'm going to be talking to you about, and everybody knows about ChatGPT, that is not the only AI tool we have. There are so many of them. And another thing again is in utilizing AI, everybody's talking about AI, but how do you use it? What kind of prompts are you giving to it? It's one thing to have the tool, it's another thing to know how to use it. So it is those that know how to use it that would be going with the future. Those that do not adopt it are the ones that will be left behind. Please, next slide. Anyway, so like I said earlier, one of the things we also need to know, like when most people are thinking about AI, most people think AI is artificial intelligence. For teachers, I call it amplified intelligence. What does that mean? You already have the knowledge. You're only amplifying what you know. You're only visualizing it. You're only bringing it home for the students to understand. You're only trying to make it easier for your work to be delivered. You already have, in fact, you don't know what the gold mine you guys have as teachers. You already have lecture notes. Who says tomorrow you cannot decide to create a company where you're even selling those notes you have put together for people to start learning online? People always say, oh, teachers are not well paid. Who says you cannot create a niche for your own self? Start a program where you teach students that basic skill you have already taught over time. Change it. You have the regular lecture notes. Visualize it. Have full of students that come to you that you offer lessons to online. Your own style of teaching is kind of different. You'll be amazed and surprised at what you are going to do for yourself. And that's why that is amplified intelligence. Because you are trying to improve on the knowledge and things you've already put together. This basically just tells us, what AI is also going to do, helping you to take away repetitive work, because I can imagine what the life of a teacher is like, where you need to read and read and read, prepare lecture notes over and over again. But with AI, you can even modify it. I grew up seeing my dad is a lecturer in the university, right? Having to prepare lecture notes. He's passionate about teaching. I grew up in the teaching university environment, so I know what it means to be a teacher. Right? And I know the kind of relationship I also have with my own teachers. If you do not improvise, you will be stagnant. You will not move forward. You will not achieve so much more. You'll be wondering, why am I just stagnant? Why am I not moving forward? Why is it that I cannot get so much more for myself? AI is here. Who says you have to limit yourself just to what you're teaching within your circle of influence within your school? You can do so much more for yourself. There are students out there that do not even have access or cannot even afford to go to regular institution or regular schools. You can capture them young in your environment. Remember, you live a life of impact as teachers. I, for one, always feel that most people that should even be the highest paid people are teachers. Because all the professionals you see today pass through teachers, right from kindergarten up to university. But it's a shame. In the environment today, teachers are not even appreciated. And I want you to, first of all, appreciate yourself for being a teacher or a school administrator for being here today. Because you guys are doing a whole lot of work. And I really applaud you for that. So, what are the things that, before AI, basically, you can just keep? Or better to hold on here, please. So I go back. This basically just shows what Excel does and what teachers would also focus on aside from AI. There is no way AI can take away empathy. There's no way it can take away mentorship. Like we always say, it takes a village to raise a child. And these are things that teachers do. Sometimes I wonder, how are you able to appeal to the children's emotions? How are you able to get them to, communicate with you and tell you things that they cannot even tell their parents? You guys are magicians. I don't know how you do it. Because there are some things that my daughter will not be able to tell me, but you guys are able to get this all out of them. These are just basic skills you need to add to the AI skills you are using in teaching. Because this one, trust me, AI cannot take it away from you. You guys are very, very gifted. And please clap for yourself once again. Please, next slide. So this slide basically just tells us about what we had before the invention of AI and what we have after AI. Looking at this slide, it tells us how many lesson notes teachers have to write, how many quizzes we have to set, how many assignments we have to come up with. No worry, I can share the slide and they can share it with you so that you can have access to it. Teachers write emails, you write reports, even results comments. With AI tools, if your school administrator put together a tool, it can basically just translate the results and give you comments that you can even attach to every child. Okay, that you can even attach to every child. Right? Those are things that AI will do for you. And after a year, looking at it, teacher write just one prompt All you just need to do is XYZ, give me XYZ to talk about XYZ topic. And then you get the prompt. I'm also going to show you that at the next slide. Then AI creates about 40, everything you can get it just by a singular prompt. Please, next slide. So this is an example of a prompt. You want to create your lesson plan, for instance, and then you are saying, create a 40-minute lesson plan for SS2 students on photosynthesis using collaborative learning and real-life examples. One of the things I always tell people is, if you do not know how to use AI, you will just be giving it nonsense and you end up giving you back nonsense. But you must have the basis of what you want it to give to you. With that, the output you will get will be fantastic. So those are the kind of prompts you need to type into your AI tool, and it will give you exactly what you want. The other one is about create 20-minute multiple choice questions, 10 essay questions. Why do you have to be stressing and racking your head around, how do I set these questions? With AI, just give it the information you have already taught the students and say, create questions for me around this. You will be amazed at the number of questions that will pop up for you. So please, let's try that. Next slide, please. So these are different ways AI can basically work for you. It helps you with personalized learning, right? In a class where you have about 40 students, and that's why you see a lot of schools adopting AI solutions that also helps teachers to be able to teach well, to be able to categorize students. Because in a class, you can have some students that are very good. You can have some that are mid-learners. It can basically help you to categorize them and then know how to teach them. So you need to hold your schools accountable to say, I need solutions that will help me to be able to take some informed decisions. Because one of the things we lack in Nigeria is data, right? And AI also helps us be able to get access to data. Solutions helps us be able to get access to data that will help us to take informed decisions, that also help us be able to know how to categorize our students and how best we can serve them. AI is basically a teaching assistant, right? Whatever it is you give to it is what it helps you with. It also helps you to be able to get instant feedback. It helps you with even grammatical corrections. We have Grammarly. You see some people putting out some write-ups and you see a lot of grammatical errors in it. There are so many tools that you can use today that can help you to correct that. So you don't need to stress yourself too much. Even though people will tell you AI tries to make us lazy. Not exactly, because you still need to use your brain to give it the right information you want it to give to you. So AI for school owners is also very, very, very important, because you can use that to prepare your newsletters, policies, and the likes without having to start looking for lawyers that will prepare some of these things for you. But please note, you still need to give it content. If you do not give it the right content, you are going to get garbage at the end of the day. So giving it the right content and also still editing. So not just giving it and it gives you something, you just take it hook, line, and sinker. You still need to read it to understand. Next slide, please. All right, so these are some of the recommended tools that you can use as teachers. We have the likes of ChatGPT, we have Magic School AI, Gamma, Canva, quizzes. You want to do presentation and the likes. These are the different kind of tools you can use for different things. Like I said, this slide is going to be shared and given to you so that you can also use and play around with it. They are not so expensive. They are things you can use. And your school administrators can also get that for those that are teachers from different schools here. Please, next slide. So this basically just speaks to school management. I'm aware, and I know that there are a lot of school administrators that are here. A lot of people are using different solutions. I, for one, the organization I also represent, offers different solutions that schools can also adopt. That helps you to be able to get access to your student information system, tracks your students from how they are admitted to how they graduate, their record, examination portals, and the likes. Those are also things that can be done in addition to everything that's been listed here. So by the time you are done today, you can just go to our stand to get more information around the different solutions we have that we can also help your school to be able to take informed decisions. Remember, data is power. Please, next slide. So, how is the classroom planning to evolve? Yesterday, we had just teachers and students. Today, we have teachers, AI, and students. And tomorrow, what are we looking at? We're looking for teachers, AI, parents, learning analytics, personalized learning, digital classroom, everything all work together. Because today, learning just does not end in the classroom. We need the involvement of teachers. We need a solution where parents can keep tabs on the activities of their students. their words, their children, the progress they are making per time, and areas where they have gaps. And every other thing can basically be interwoven. So that's a solution that if any school is here today that they do not have such solution, I would advise that you try to embrace it 2026, because 2027 is going to be a game-changing year. So the time is now. Please let's ensure we adopt it. And of course, the things that AI can never replace, like I said earlier, the smile that you give to your students, it's super duper important. I love it when people are very approachable. And you teachers are the magicians to that. I do not know how you do it, like I said, but I think you guys are well trained in how you communicate and appeal to your students' emotion. Please let's keep on doing that. AI can never replace that. So no matter how one is good in AI, there are certain skills that AI cannot take away. Let's have that at the back of our mind. Next slide. I think that's the last. So the biggest risk basically isn't AI. The biggest risk is teachers and schools that refuse to adopt AI. That's where the risk is. So what are you waiting for? Jump on the bandwagon, jump on AI today, and try to adopt, look out for solutions, look out for tools that you can use that would help you to deliver your lectures, that will help you to have all the information required about your students today. The time is now. The time is not tomorrow. So please let's jump on that and move forward. So basically, what I will tell you today as I round up this session is learn one AI tool. There are a couple of them. Use AI for your lessons, that you have one-on-one lessons, even in your classroom as well. Teach one student better because of AI. Remember, AI just basically helps you, enhances the knowledge you have, and helps you to deliver exceptionally to your students. I think, I hope with the few points of mind I've said today, I've been able to basically just help you to know that AI basically helps you to make your work better. And as we are trying to take AI as well, AI is basically going to help us. So what I will tell us today is let's choose to learn, let's choose to lead, and let's choose to prepare for the next generation, because we are the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Moyesore Ashubioju. Please don't go yet. Mrs. Augusto, can we please have you upstage? Thank you. So we have a little task. Who is not praying? Okay, who's praying for this? Okay, amen to all your prayers. Let's see who will get it.
There's a lucky winner here, and this goes to someone from Deeper Life High School, and the person is Tijani Samson. Congratulations.
Thank you. So we should actually learn from, where is he? He's not here. I hope he didn't go out of this building to use the restroom. Okay. Are you sure we're not going to ask him for his ID? Are you sure? So we need to ask Darwin College and Deeper Life what it is they've been doing.
Please, we need to find out. Did you call Baba Kubuyi before coming? Because Deeper Life to win this, you know what the amount of...
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So would like to say a big thank you, I will do that now, to Moyosore Ashubiojo and her organization, Edtech Global, Edutech Global, for the bags as well. The bags you have? Yes. Okay. Yes. Sponsored by Edutech. Sponsored by Edutech. Thank you so much. Okay, can you all raise your bags? They would like to take a picture. Just raise it up. All right. So thank you so much once again. Okay, so we have our next speaker in the house. And her topic is building. Sorry, 1 minute. Thank you. So our next speaker is going to be speaking to the theme of the conference, which is building EdTech capacity for educators. And her name is Ayotola Jagun. She's the executive director and chief corporate services and sustainability officer at Oando PLC, and group-wide responsibility for risk management, sustainability, and strategic procurement, having previously served 14 years as chief compliance officer and company secretary. Dual qualified in Nigeria and England and Wales, she holds a Master of Science in Corporate Governance and Business Ethics from the University of London, the Global Competent Board's designation and Certified Ethics Officer status, and is a Fellow of the Chartered Governance Institute, United Kingdom, and the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria. She chairs Scrap Art Foundation, Indie Finance, and Garden of Life Farms, and is a trustee of the Mirabel Center. Formerly directed the United Nations Global Impact Network Nigeria, and co-chaired the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment Working Group on not-for-profit governance. She's Vice Chair Africa of the International Chamber of Commerce, Global Commission on Business Integrity, and a social justice advocate, cyclist, art lover, and solo traveler. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ayotola Jagun as she takes the podium.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me to be here. Thank you, Auntie Edna, for making this happen. When she reached out to me to say, are you around in August? And can you come and speak? I thought, what do I have to say to educators? You know, like the last speaker said, my life is what it is today because of my teachers. And I'm not just saying this. I had two teachers in particular at different points in my life that, thank God for them. If it wasn't for them, I don't believe I would be who I am today. I remember when I was doing my A-levels, I did it in a school. My father thought it was a great idea. In fact, actually three. But let me start from when I was, my father thought it was a great idea for us to go abroad to get an English education. And he threw us in a school in the middle of nowhere. It was a Lake District, Windermere, in the north of England. We were the only Nigerians in the school, myself and my sisters. And it was one of my teachers who made my time there what it became, because I struggled. And when you're struggling as a child emotionally, you will struggle in terms of your studies. Intellectually, you will struggle. If things are not okay at home, there's no amount of AI and technology that will make that child learn. They will be distracted when they're in the classroom. And this woman basically adopted me. Every weekend, she took me home with her. She was my dance teacher. She was a dance teacher. She wasn't even my personal tutor. My personal tutor was my physics teacher. And she tried. She used to love fell walking, and she would take me walking the fells. But Avril Henderson, who was my dance teacher, my 18th birthday, she threw a party for me. She didn't know me. She had never even met my parents. She just took an interest in me and determined that I was going to turn around. And through her help and her emotional support, I got in to do my first degree, which was in law. My other, the other person I would talk about was when I was doing my master's in law. Sorry, when I was doing my first degree in law, again, I had a fantastic teacher who believed in me. So she had cancer and she had leukemia and had to go for chemo regularly. And this is me coming in, not quite sure of myself, but she saw something in me. She saw leadership in me. So she would tell me when she has to go for treatment to run her course, take the tutorials. So I would be in charge of the tutorials with my peers. And she so believed in me that I began to believe in myself. Now, this is a class full of Soyombo people who probably were brighter than me. But this woman believed in me. And I would never forget, I went to St. Mary's Private School here in Lagos, on Ajele Road. And again, I remember one of my teachers there who, my drama teacher, I used to go to do, for those of us in my generation anyway, I used to go to NTA to do children's hour. And again, it was because my drama teacher really believed in me. And that really helped me to excel. I left primary school very early to go to Holy Child College. I actually entered Holy Child at the age of 9. So the intelligence was there. But there were various things in my life that could have cut short my intellectual capacity and ability to thrive were it not for my teachers. So I just really want to celebrate every teacher in the room. What you're doing is mostly unrewarded, right? And I don't want to be flippant and say God will reward you. Thankfully, my alumni group, we really honor our teachers. We take care of them. We look out for them. We go and search for them and make sure we take care of them. I have 2 alumni groups that are very active in that way. And I just pray that, as a nation, as we change, as we develop, as we transform, that the place of teachers will be recognized and the importance of teachers will be recognized, and that you will get your reward, not just in the life to come, but also in this life. Amen. So I'm talking about preparing educators for the world technology is creating. We talk about technology quite a bit, right? And the importance of adopting technology. But beyond technology, we are living in an age that is fast changing. And we have to look beyond the tools themselves to what are those things that we need to imbibe in ourselves and in our children to prepare ourselves for this changing technological age. Because we're in a revolution. It's a technology, you had the Industrial Revolution. This is a technology revolution. And we are in the age of technology. So what are those things that enable us to thrive? And trust me, what enables us to thrive and have the advantage when there is change is there are different skills. They're more the soft skills: adaptability, willingness to change, teachability. And those are the things that I want to challenge us, that we need to have an open mind. The innovation, the willingness to try something new. Because if we're closed in our mindsets, we will not be able to survive what's happening. A lot of people say, AI will take over the jobs of teachers. It's a lie. It can't. But it would take over the jobs of teachers who are unwilling to change.
And those teachers who are willing to change are the ones that are not only going to thrive, but they're going to prosper. What does it mean to build capacity? Sorry, Nen, I'm trusting you. Thank you. I have a very able EA, and she goes everywhere with me, and she's fantastic. So to build capacity means teaching educators really how to use the latest technology. If that's what it means, then our task is straightforward. What it means is teaching you how to use the latest technology, you can learn. But capacity is really about preparing educators to lead children successfully through one of the greatest periods of change in human history. It's how you prepare your children, how you challenge your peers, and how you challenge yourself. It's not about necessarily building technological capacity. It's about building human capacity in an age of technology. It is teachers that educate a child, not technology. Technology can subject your child to the good and the bad. It is you as a teacher who builds in that moral compass in a child. Those values that are very lacking in our society that you need to build. Technology doesn't really inspire a dream. It is teachers. It was my teacher, Avril, who inspired me. I love dance. I love drama today. You know, I love art because she built that in me. Teachers are the ones who inspire a child to dream. Technology does not recognize the hidden potential in a child that is overlooked, like Avril did. It takes a human being to look at a child and say, you are capable of much more. The child may even get to a point where they're saying, oh, I'm stupid, I'm dumb. I spent Sunday with a friend of mine, and she has 2 beautiful kids. They're high spectrum autistic, and the older one, very intelligent, very creative. And he was like, well, and the younger one, extremely bright, logical, talks faster than he can think. Right? But his mind, he's got such an amazing mind. When he sits down and he engages you intellectually, you begin to doubt whether you even know anything. But he doesn't listen. He doesn't allow other people to talk. And so you're having a younger brother who comes up with all the answers and doesn't allow you to talk. The older brother is going through his teenage years and getting very, very irritable. And so he lashed out on Sunday, and these are things that AI cannot manage, technology will not manage. It is the teacher in the room that manages those type of things. And the older brother said, oh, well, I'm very stupid, I don't know anything. And I had to disabuse his mind. Because also, you have to understand that in your class, there are children are going through different things. Their hormonal changes taking place, which technology cannot regulate. You're the one who is able to build in that emotional intelligence in them to help them regulate themselves, to help them believe in themselves. So again, that's something that teachers do. So although technology is important, what it is, it's an amplifier, it's an enabler, right? It amplifies the quality of the person who is using that technology. That's what it does. You know, this is not just something that I'm saying. UNESCO's Global Education Monitoring Report found that the learning benefits of technology disappear either when it is used in excess or when it is used in the absence of a qualified teacher. So because we're moving in that direction anyway, you owe it to yourself, or you owe it to your students to be a qualified teacher using technology. Giving children computers does not improve learning if the teacher is not part of the experience. Owando Foundation is part of the group, Owando Group. And you know, we build ICT centers in some of our adopted schools. But we can build ICT centers, we can put computers there. If there is no qualified teacher to teach those children, then it would be akin to having a wooden mouse and asking children, you've seen that, I'm sure, on social media, to move the wooden mouse to learn how to use the mouse because you don't have the tools.
So qualified teachers are very important. So the question before us is not simply how do we prepare, like I said, educators for technology. It's how do we prepare educators for a world that technology is changing. The pace of change is really fast, as we can see. I work in risk management and I have done for so many years. And there's something that I told my team last year that we need to apply, and that's about strategic foresight. People do scenario planning. What's the future going to look like? Or what is the impact of the war between Iran and Israel? What's going to be the impact on the price of oil? And you can do all of those things and do the scenario planning. But there is a strategic foresight which you need to apply. What's the future going to look like 10 years from now? I don't know how many of you have sat down and thought 10 years from now, what's it going to look like? With the pace of change today, what's my classroom going to look like? Even in Nigeria, what's it going to look like? President has said the country is open to data centers. So here we're going to have data centers set up, churning out data. We live in a world of data. What data are we using to instruct our kids? And are we preparing them for the world that they're going to go into to work? The World Economic Forum estimates that 39% of the skills workers hold today will be transformed or become outdated between now and 2030. You either transform or you are archived. Or you become outdated, you become a relic. So, but in spite of the explosion of information, something else has become increasingly scarce. Wisdom, it's profitable to direct, but wisdom has become scarce. Discernment has become very scarce. People believe, you heard of the Olodo uprising. People believe whatever it is they're told on social media. People have stopped thinking critically. Critical thinking skills are skills that teachers bring to the classroom, not computers, not AI. Judgment, integrity, empathy, like was mentioned earlier, and like I said again, critical thinking. These are profoundly human capabilities. And the educator of the future is not becoming less important. The educator is becoming more important than ever, not because teachers know everything. We can say we don't know everything, but because we help students make sense of what is going on around them. You have the advantage of the experience of age and the wisdom of age and experience to be able to help them make sense. And these kids are perplexed. You know how anxiety is increasing amongst our kids because everything is changing around them. So your role as well is to help them make sense of their changing world around them. And so in addition to these technological skills, they're being bombarded from babies. It annoys me when I see parents pacify a crying child by giving them phones, because that's not what they need. Or iPads. I saw a video of a Chinese child sorting out a very complex puzzle. That child could not have been more than 3 years old. And I'm saying these parents are not throwing a laptop in front of the child, but they're helping the child to develop problem-solving skills. You are the ones to do that as well. I'm not minimizing technology. We're in an age of technology, but I'm saying our role is beyond learning about the technology, helping the children to understand what they need to develop and how to develop the skills to allow them to be masters of that technology and not for technology to be their masters. We talk about Nigeria's resources, and we know that our greatest resource are our human resources, our people. They're sitting in our classrooms. Our children, they are the greatest national asset we have. The median age in Nigeria today is roughly 18 years. 18 years. That's the median age. Half of this nation is under the age of 19. The 240 million people we talk about plus that we have, 120 million odd are under the age of 19. These are still impressionable minds that we are going to help to shape. And so for me, I can't talk about technology because I'm not, an IT person, but I'm a governance person and I'm a leader. And for me, stewardship has become something that is increasingly important. And I write a lot about it. How are we stewarding the gifts that God has given to us? We are not all made out to be teachers. I teach, right? I know I have a teaching gift, but not all of us. But I can't do what you're doing because honestly, when my nieces and nephews come, I cannot wait to hand them back to their parents. When somebody is saying, would you like to have another child? I'm like, hey, no, thank you. To have a classroom full of 40 kids and manage that, that's not my gift. And I know that it is not my gift, but you guys are incredibly gifted. And so you are stewarding, yes, well done for that. And so you're stewarding these minds. And, for me, stewardship is not about ownership. And I've been saying that. I don't own my wealth. I'm a steward of my wealth, and I will give account for how I steward that wealth. You don't own these children. Their parents also don't own them. They've only handed them to you for a period of time. You will give account for how you're stewarding these minds. And you can't waka pass. You can't look the other way when you see technology destroying these kids. And you see the impact of technology destroying this child, because there's a negative side to technology. You need to step in and you need to be the ones to help. And how are you going to do that if you yourselves don't know how to use technology in a way that is advantageous and not destructive? So you're doing something more than teaching math, science, English, using technology. You are stewarding minds, you're shaping judgments, you're forming character, you are developing the right citizens, hopefully, not Olodo generation, but you are developing the right citizens that will interrogate, that will question. Long after students forget many of the facts, ask me what they taught me in primary school or secondary school. Ask me the details of what I learned during my A-levels or even when I was in law school. I may not remember many of the facts that I memorized, but I will remember how my teachers made me think. And this is what I spoke about today. How they made me feel, how they challenged me, how they believed in me. And technology cannot replace that. So, like I said, artificial intelligence has created enormous opportunities. It can help personalize learning, support lesson feedback. I won't go into all the excellent points that have been raised, but it's also created new responsibilities. Students encounter misinformation, deepfakes. In fact, the World Economic Forum says one of the greatest risks, top 5 risks, is misinformation and disinformation in the entire world. And you know that sometimes you see something, you don't even know whether this video is AI generated or it's real. And we forward things, and meanwhile, it's fake news. Deepfakes, AI generated assignments, manipulated images, algorithmic bias. Because we haven't been part in Africa of forming the information that AI is generating, many times it's not contextual to what we're going through in our nation. It's not contextual to our culture. So you have to train AI. And I use AI, but I have to interrogate and I have to train it with all my prompts. I have my prompts loaded in my settings. And some of the prompts I put in my settings are this. The Bible is the infallible word of God. Do not give me any response that does not line up with scripture. Because it did make that mistake once. And I thought, no, I have to educate you as to what you should be giving back to me. So now if I put something in my chat or Claude or Gemini, it will come back to me and say, good morning, Ayatollah. This is my prayer for you today. May the Lord guide you. No, it starts with that. Okay, so let's get that right. And like she said, it is what you put in that you get out. Because what it does is it just scars the entire internet, all the data in the world, and it gives you an answer. That's what AI does. But what kind of answer do you want? All the information about Bible is there, the Quran is there, the scriptures are there, sermons by different people, analysis, all the concordances, they're all there. It has access to it. So it can help you cut down the time when you want to do research. But in terms of the quality of your answer, what is it that you want? I don't want any morally bankrupt answer from you. And you can put those parameters in there. And you can teach your children to put in the right prompts. But I will go very quickly because I know time is against us. So, do your children know, can they evaluate sources? You can tell AI to let you know where it's getting the information from. What is the source? Every response you give to me, where you are not sure, tell me you are not sure. You can put that as part of your super prompts. Can they identify misinformation? Can they question assumptions? Can they distinguish confidence from accuracy? Can they think independently? These are no longer optional skills. They are essential life skills as we move into this digital age. There's another conversation that I want us to talk about. So this is about how technology is using us and using our children. Every notification competes for attention. Every algorithm changes, it shapes your preferences. Every platform rewards certain behaviors, and every digital interaction leaves an imprint. You will get the slides as well. So I used to say, I said there was something I came up with, I realized recently that, you know, we have all these social media influencers and everybody is looking to influence everybody else. I post a lot, you know, I wouldn't call myself an influencer, but I know I am influencing people who read my posts. But recently I realized that the greatest influencer of all times is God. He's the greatest influencer. But he influences in a way that is different from the way we influencers seek to influence. And those are the principles that we need to teach our children. God is not interested in numbers, the way social media influencers are interested in followers. It's not about the numbers, it's about the one person. The same way with you, it's about that one child and making sure that they maximize their potential. So we are also, everybody in this room is a major influencer. And in fact, the people you have influenced are probably more than the most popular influencer, social media influencer in the world. Because for every child that you influence, and you've influenced through your teaching career, they have gone on to influence so many other people, to change the lives of so many other people. Technology is not neutral. I don't want to, well, UNESCO, across 14 countries, UNESCO found that the mere presence of a mobile device nearly was enough, of a mobile device nearby was enough to distract learners and harm their learning. One study found that a distracted student can take up to 20 minutes to return their attention to the task in front of them. So almost 1 in 4 countries now restrict smartphones in schools. And we hear about countries, I think it's Sweden, that has now gone back to, okay, books, paper books, because of the harmful effects of technology. So that said, you know, but that doesn't mean that we don't use it as a tool. Technology is not neutral. It influences how we think, how we relate, how we spend our time, how we see ourselves. And as educators, our greatest responsibility is to teach our children digital stewardship. For us to learn digital stewardship and to teach our children digital stewardship. How many of us are distracted by our phones, even when we get home? We don't pay attention to our families, to our children. We're constantly on the phone. They watch us and they learn what we do more than from. I'll skip through that because of time, but I'll give you access to my notes and also to the slides. So it's about building institutions and not simply about training individuals for technology. Like I said, I'm a governance specialist. That's my skill, that's my love, that's my passion. And one of the greatest mistakes organizations make is believing that training individuals transforms your institution. It's more than that. Your values are key, and so it's not about training teachers. It's about building Edtech capacity is about creating a system, an ecosystem that supports continuous learning, leadership, having leadership in your school that encourages innovation, so they buy it, and governance frameworks that promote responsible use of technology. Having the ethical guidelines, those policies in place, your AI policy, your social media policy, your IT policies. Previous generations, it was infrastructure, built classrooms. I remember when I was a Holy Child, and Lateef Jakonde was, I think, governor of Lagos State, and it was really about having enough classrooms. So they took Fairyland and put additional, we had a bit of like parkland at the back, which we used to call Fairyland. We used to have our picnics there, and they took part of that and built classrooms. And that was great, Others expanded access to education. Our responsibility today is different. In June of this year, UNICEF reported that of all the children in Nigeria who are already in school, only 1 in 4 can read properly and do basic maths by the age of 14. It's not a statement about access. It's a statement about learning. Learning is what happens in the classrooms. And we must teach children how to learn, how to flourish in a rapidly changing digital world without losing the qualities that make us fully human. In conclusion, I want to talk about communities of practice, and I see that this is where what happens from this room when you leave. You've networked, some of you know each other from maybe the first year, the second year, this is the third year. And I think there are many communities of practice that exist. Technology, they organize many around technology, products, teacher training, digital pedagogy, and also policy. But very few are organized around educators as knowledge creators and innovators. Knowledge creators and innovators. And I think there is room for an African community of practice or a Nigerian community of practice that arts quite African community of practice, which then scales globally. How do teachers solve problems together using technology? How do schools share locally developed innovation that has worked in your school and you want to share it with other schools? How do educators build evidence of what actually works in the classroom? How do experienced teachers mentor younger teachers, Edtech, to producers of Africa tech knowledge? And so it's about building professional capacities through collaborative practice. Nigeria has over 200,000 schools, well over 1 million teachers. Imagine if every school became part of a living community of practice where teachers continually shared lesson designs, classroom innovations, AI prompts, assessment methods, local solutions, and it may be happening already, but we need to scale that. So it's our greatest educational asset will not be any single Edtech platform. It would be the collective wisdom that is in this room today of all the educators in Nigeria. And technology will become the infrastructure through which that wisdom is circulated. We have a lot to teach the world. We have a lot to teach the world. It's not just, our resources are not just in our oil, in our gas, in our green metals, in our solid minerals. It's in the minds, the creative minds of the the people in this room and in the nation. So I want to leave you with this thought. Rather than asking, how do we train more teachers to use technology? Should we be asking, how do we leverage technology to help us teachers learn from one another at national scale, support one another in adopting technology, and how do we reframe Edtech generally from a technology project into a knowledge stewardship project? Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ayatola Jagan. Thank you. We really do appreciate this. And these are questions we've been asking ourselves since yesterday. So it's certainly in line with all that we've said, starting with our chairman up to this point. Thank you so much. We have a little assignment for you. Yes, so we have 2 laptops to give out. If you could just take the center of this stage. So I'll help you with this. Thank and you. Hold the mic whilst you do this.
Oh, I have to collect something. There was I thinking that maybe I like Damask and Ashoki and all of that. So I just pick anything. Okay. So the name of this person is Sesu Tina Chukutem, the Waterbrook School. She's already coming. Congratulations.
So I'll hold the mic for you. I'll hold the mic and then. Is this your first? Is this your first laptop? You have a laptop? No, is this the first you're winning here? Yes. It's crashed.
Are you praying?
Pastor, vigil.
Omodiji Bukumi from Children's International School, Lekki.
It's the first. Congratulations. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. You want to say something? Okay, you're back. Time. Isn't it interesting how all the speakers are aligning? And when she came up and she brought in very strongly, when Miss Jagon came up and brought in very strongly the God factor, I said, thank God, someone has announced now, because it's only God that can plan something this way and align everything, you know? Bible talks about precept upon precept. That's it. Clear demonstration. So thank you. And it's also a reflection of the convener of this. If you know her very well, you know that when it comes to the word and prayers, she's very, very, very into it. So we're moving on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is probably the youngest of all our speakers. Are we ready to go on? Okay, please, we're not turning it to a religious thing. Please, no need to mumble. I just acknowledge things that have happened during this. So it's not about turning it to anything religious, please. Thank you very much. So our next speaker is going to come from a very different perspective, probably the youngest of all our speakers. His name is Ayodeji Adesanya. Ayodeji is a student, and what he's going to share with us is from a student's perspective, and he's going to be talking about equipping teachers to equip students. There's nothing as good as listening to someone who's going to receive from you. There's nothing as good as you getting their expectations so you can meet those expectations. Not just meet, but even exceed the expectations. Ayodeji, are you ready? You can please come up. Can we have Ayodeji's slides up, please? It's okay. So start off by telling us about yourself, engage us.
It's an honor to be here. My name, just like she has said, my name is Adesanya Ayodeji Adekunle. I'm a civil and environmental engineering student at the University of Lagos. All of these amazing skills. I mean, we've invested in ourselves. We've started getting ourselves, we've started personal development. Now we'll be looking at collecting our certificates, we'll be looking at networking, but I'm here to remind us about the students. Yes, the students. How about the students? How about this? I'm here to remind us about the students. And that is why the theme is building Edtech capacity for educators, keeping in mind equipping teachers to empower students. Now, I want us to perform a short exercise. I want us to use our imaginative powers to visualize that the skills that we are getting from this platform, from this training, looking at, just visualize. Let's close our eyes for a minute. Visualize that you are using the skills that you are learning here, and you are going to be using it. You are going to be deploying them in ensuring that these students are getting better. You are going to be ensuring that these students are doing things. Just visualize. You are investing in the student. Visualize yourself using the skills that you learned here to impact these students. You're spending your energy with them. You're investing in their lives. You're not just here to invest in yourself, but you're here keeping in mind that we have students that when I'm returning back to my teaching platform, I'm going to teach. I am going to invest in these students as well. Moving on to the next slides. That leads me to saying that when an educator grows, a student grows with them. And this will be the anthem for this short speech. When an educator grows, a student grows with them. And leads me to saying that what we take from this room will reach a student long before they ever hear about it. Yeah, what we are going to be learning here, it's what I re-emphasize, that what we are going to learn here, because we are growing, we are also going to let them grow. Next slides, please. Now, while I was doing the slides, while I was curating the slides, the contents and everything, I realized that the equipment was never the problem. Yes, the equipment was never the problem. We can have the equipment, we can have the devices, we can have the softwares, but what if we have, it's just like saying that, okay, I have a plane, but where's the pilot? What if we have all of these softwares, we have all of this training, we have all of these systems, devices, but we don't have trainers, we don't have educators that are well trained to ensure that this knowledge doesn't just end with them, but it also gets to the minds, it also gets, we also invest in the students. The equipment was never the problem. The equipment was never the problem. What we are in search for is mediators.
mediators who will go back and say, no, this knowledge doesn't just end here. I will ensure, I will be proactive about it. I will ensure that I get proactive about it. I start clubs in the school. A teacher was talking about jet clubs, that when he gets to the teaching platform, he will introduce AI into the jet clubs, things like that. And that was wonderful. That was so insightful. So it doesn't just end here. And once again, the equipment was never the problem. Next slide. Now, once again, we have the tools that we are going to be learning. We have started learning the artificial intelligence, the cyber security, the Python, the HTML, all of these tools. All of these tools. Next slide. And yes, none of it stops with you. I'm sorry if I sound like I am re-emphasizing myself again and again, but it's important that I eat that fact that the knowledge doesn't end here. And I will say this again, which is the anthem. When you grow, the student grows alongside with you. Now, can the media, can you take me back to the previous slide? Now, keeping in mind that we are not just here for ourselves. I'm sure that most of us, because I won't lie to you, I'm also a student. When we learn new things like this, it can be so strenuous. It can be so stressful. So when you now know that you are not here for yourself alone, when you know that you have a deeper purpose here, which is a part of the reason here, which is to also invest in people's life, the students' life, then it stops, the learning process stops to seem tedious to you. It starts to get exciting because you are not just doing it for yourself. You are doing it for a deeper purpose. A call to serve. A call to serve. The next slide. And the next. Okay, the next. The next. Apologies. Now, reinforcing all that I've said, what you gain and what your students get. Now, when we've talked about AI, how AI is doing a lot of things, the incredible things that AI is doing. Now, when you hit, so it means that when you can, because when you can say, okay, ChatGPT, this is the question I have, maybe when you're preparing for a class, and I have just one route in solving this question, but I know that I am not just doing it for myself. I want the students I'm teaching to also get to know other possible ways to learn and to be able to solve this thing. So I will now be like, okay, ChatGPT, give me 4 other routes I can take to solve this same problem. What I am doing in turn is I'm not just utilizing ChatGPT. I am expanding the minds of these students. One problem, 5 different solutions. Yes. One problem, 5 different solutions. Let them build instead of copying. Learn by making something. Okay, give me this. But when you know the capabilities of the AI, you know the questions to set for this kind of people to take home as assignments. You know that, okay, I can use this same AI to develop another artificial intelligence platform that can know whether this work they submitted to me is their real work or not. Deeper thinking. Proceeding from here, that is the cyber security, spot a scam, a data risk, things like that. When you see an opportunity, because the youth of nowadays, the students of nowadays, we have access to all of these opportunities, and most of them can be scam. So when you tell the student beforehand that, okay, don't go for this, don't go for this, you are protecting them. Things like that. So proceeding from here, when you now earn a certification, your school recognizes. You learn from someone who kept learning. And that is the theme. That is rather the anthem that says, when you grow, the student grows alongside. Proceeding from here, next slide. Okay, I'm just reinforcing and reinforcing and reinforcing all of this so that we get that mindset. We get that mindset. So we've said most of this, but we can move to the next slide. A digitally equipped educator opens doors students never knew existed. Most students do not find out what they are capable of on their own. An educator shows them usually before they would have thought to look. I am privileged to be in classes where it is through the lecturer that I get to know that I am capable of this thing, because this tool existed. And had it been the lecturer didn't show us this tool, then I would not have known about it, and my potential won't be released. It will just be merely a potential. Proceeding from here, next slides, please. The same tool in two different ways, used in two different ways. That is, the teacher, the educator, serving as a mediator. Use one way, the technology becomes a faster way to find answers. And use another way, the technology becomes a way to develop understanding and critical thinking. Understanding and critical thinking. Deep thinking, deep reasoning. And proceeding from here, the last slides, I guess. Okay, proceeding once again. In a world where AI is becoming part of everyday life, it is still the educator who determines whether technology becomes a shortcut to answers or a pathway to deeper learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayodeji. And what Ayodeji is saying is, it is really you. It is your responsibility to determine whether technology will be a shortcut to answers or a pathway to deeper learning. Thank you so much, Ayodeji. Thank you so much. Thank you. So my question to you would be, from the learning, the laptops given out, all the interaction, what are you going to do differently in your classrooms? How are you going to do things differently? What are you going to change? What have you learned? What are you going to unlearn? And what do you need to relearn? So this is about transformation. If you go back and you do the same thing in the same way, I don't want to say what it is they describe those people as. You know, they say is somebody who would do things in the same way and expect a different result. What do they call those kind of people? I didn't say it. Somebody said they are called mad people. And I know we are not mad. So please make sure you do things differently when you get into your classrooms. Has it been worth your while? Have you learned one or two things? Or even 10 things? Awesome, awesome. So let's just appreciate Mrs. Edna Augusto. Absolutely. Thank you so much. They call those kind of people. I didn't say it. Somebody said they are called mad people. And I know we are not mad. So please make sure you do things differently when you get into your classrooms. Has it been worth your while? Have you learned one or two things? Or even 10 things? Awesome, awesome. So let's just appreciate Mrs. Edna Augusto. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Madam. Thank you so much for putting this together. Our next speaker is someone we all met yesterday, Mrs. Adejoke Chukuma, and she's going to be speaking to the title or topic, Embracing Technology for Excellence in Teaching in the Nigerian Educational System. I didn't tell you about her yesterday, so I'm just going to read her profile now. Mrs. Adeola Chukwuma is the founder and director of Children's International School Lagos, with nearly 4 decades of experience across education, banking, and business. She serves on the boards of Teach for Nigeria and Key Stage Educational Service for a while, but my closest interaction with her in all these years was yesterday. But one thing I know about her, and this is from people saying and what I observed yesterday, she cares deeply about her staff. She cares very deeply. CIS team, true or false? True or false? And if any school owner cares about the staff, what will happen to the children? They will be cared for deeply in return. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome very warmly to the podium, Mrs. Adeola Chukwuma. Excuse me, sir. Cameraman, can you please help? Please, help me move it back. Yes. Thank you. As far as the wire.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all doing? It's great to be here, isn't it? So, I've already been introduced, and mine is more of an address rather than a presentation. It is both an honor and a privilege to address this distinguished gathering of men and women who have chosen one of the noblest and most influential professions in the world, the teaching profession. Every nation that has achieved lasting progress has done so because it invested in education. And every successful educational system is built on one indispensable foundation: great teachers. As the renowned educator Henry Adams once observed, a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. Today, we gather at a defining moment in the history of education. Not long ago, I watched a teacher ask, almost apologetically, "Can someone help me connect my laptop to the projector?" Before she had even finished speaking, 5 hands shot into the air. Within seconds, one of the students had connected the cable, adjusted the display settings, fixed the sound, and politely handed the laptop back with a smile. The lesson continued as though nothing unusual had happened. I couldn't help but smile. It perfectly captures the world we now live in, a world where many of our students can troubleshoot technology faster than many of us can find the settings menu. Our students are true digital natives. They were born into a world of smartphones, tablets, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and instant access to information. They swipe before they can write, search before they can ask questions, and somehow seem to know every shortcut on every device. Many of us, however, are digital immigrants. We remember chalkboards before smartboards, libraries before Google, handwritten lesson notes before cloud storage. Some of us still hold our breath every time a software update appears on the screen, wondering whether everything we have carefully saved is about to disappear. Now, before anyone begins to feel uncomfortable, let me say this quickly. The fact that our students understand technology does not mean they understand life. Knowing how to use AI is not the same as possessing intelligence. Having access to unlimited information is not the same as having wisdom. You can see it's all beginning to tie in with what previous speakers have spoken. Being digitally connected is not the same as being emotionally connected. That is why teachers remain indispensable. Our students still need us. They need us to inspire curiosity, to cultivate integrity, to teach discernment in an age where misinformation travels faster than truth, to develop resilience in a generation accustomed to instant answers, to nurture compassion, empathy, discipline, and character. No machine, however intelligent, can do that. Technology can only process information. Teachers transform lives. Technology can only answer questions. Teachers inspire curiosity. Technology can accelerate learning, but teachers give learning purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, technology is not the future of education. Teachers are. Technology is simply one of the most important tools ever placed in the hands of a great teacher. That is why our conversation today is so important. The question is no longer whether technology belongs in education. It already does. The real question is whether we, as educators, will confidently lead this transformation or allow it to leave us behind. I invite us this afternoon to seek technology not as a threat to our profession, but as an opportunity to elevate it. Not because it is fashionable, not because everyone else is doing it, but because the children entrusted to our care deserve teachers who are equipped to prepare themselves for the world they are inheriting. The quality of an education system can never rise above the quality of its teachers. If we invest in teachers, we invest in children. If we invest in children, we invest in the future. And if we embrace technology wisely, responsibly, and purposefully, we will empower our teachers to achieve high levels of excellence never before imagined. It is against this backdrop that I wish to speak on a subject that is no longer optional, but absolutely essential. Empowering teachers, transforming learning, harnessing technology for excellence in the Nigerian educational space. Education has never stood still. Every generation of teachers have been called upon to respond to change. There was a time when the greatest challenge facing schools was access to textbooks. Then came libraries, computers, the internet, smartphones, and now AI. Every wave of innovation has transformed not only what we teach, but also how we teach. Today, we stand at another defining moment. The world our children are preparing to enter is fundamentally different from the one many of us entered when we began our teaching careers. Many of the jobs our students will hold 10 or 15 years from now have not yet been invented. Some careers that exist today may disappear altogether, whilst new opportunities will emerge in fields such as AI, robotics, cybersecurity, biotechnology, renewable energy, and data science. Our responsibility, therefore, extends far beyond preparing students to pass examinations. Our responsibility is to prepare them to thrive in a world that is changing at an unprecedented pace. That changing world demands a different kind of education. The revised Nigerian curriculum rightly places greater emphasis on digital literacy, creativity, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and problem solving. These are no longer desirable skills. These are essential life skills. Parents recognize this. Universities expect it. Employers demand it. And our students deserve nothing less. If we're to develop these competencies in our learners, we must first develop them in ourselves. We cannot confidently teach what we are yet to embrace. That is why the role of the teacher is evolving. There was a time when teachers were regarded primarily as custodians of knowledge. Today, knowledge is everywhere. Within seconds, a student can access more information on a smartphone than previous generations could find in an entire library. Our value, therefore, is no longer measured by how much information we possess. Our value lies in helping students interpret information, distinguish truth from misinformation, think critically, solve problems creatively, and apply knowledge wisely. In other words, we are no longer simply transmitters of knowledge. We are designers of meaningful learning experiences, and that requires us to remain lifelong learners ourselves. One of the defining characteristics of outstanding teachers is an unwavering commitment to CPD. Teaching is one profession where graduation is not the ending of learning. It is the beginning. The best teachers never stop learning. They read, they attend conferences such as this, they participate in webinars, they collaborate with colleagues, they reflect on their practice. They remain curious. Above all, they have the humility to recognize that no matter how experienced they become, there is always something new to learn. Experience is a wonderful teacher, but experience without growth can become routine. The teachers who inspire us most are not necessarily those who know the most. They are those who continue learning the most. Fortunately, technology has transformed professional development. Today, the teacher in Kano can learn from an education expert in Finland. A teacher in Enugu can participate in a webinar hosted in Singapore. A teacher in Lagos can collaborate with colleagues in London, Nairobi, or Toronto, all without leaving the classroom or the comfort of home. Geography is no longer a barrier to learning. Knowledge has become accessible. The classroom has become global. This presents an extraordinary opportunity for Nigerian educators. CPD is no longer confined to the occasional workshop or annual conference. Every smartphone can become a learning center. Every laptop can become a gateway to the world's leading educational institutions. Every teacher now has unprecedented knowledge, access to knowledge, research, and best practice. The future will not belong to the teacher who knows the most today. Rather, it will belong to the teacher who is the most willing to keep learning tomorrow. That is the mindset that will distinguish exceptional educators in the years ahead. And that lifelong learning begins with embracing technology, not as an obligation, but as an opportunity. When people hear the word technology, they often think of computers, tablets, and other sophisticated software. Those are certainly important, but technology is much more than equipment. At its very best, technology is a tool that helps teachers teach better and helps students learn better. The chalkboard was once technology. The overhead projector was once technology. Even the calculator was once regarded as revolutionary. The tools have changed, but our purpose has not. Our purpose remains to inspire learning and unlock the potential of every child. That is why I firmly believe that technology is not here to replace teachers. It is here to empower them. Imagine a teacher who spends hours marking objective tests, compiling results, and calculating class averages. Today, technology can complete many of those routine tasks in minutes. Those precious hours can then be devoted to what only a teacher can do: planning engaging lessons, mentoring students, supporting struggling learners, and building meaningful relationships. Technology doesn't take away the teacher's role. It gives the teacher more time to fulfill it. Technology also transforms the classroom into a place of exploration rather than mere instruction. A biology teacher explaining the human heart no longer has to rely solely on a textbook diagram. Students can watch a three-dimensional animation, observe blood flowing through the chambers of the heart, and gain a deeper understanding of how the organs function. Learning has become visual, interactive, memorable. Research consciously shows that students retain more when they actively participate in the learning process rather than simply listening to it. Technology helps us to create those opportunities. The classroom shifts from being teacher-centered to learner-centered. The teacher is no longer simply delivering information. The teacher is guiding discovery. One of the greatest gifts technology offers is the ability to personalize learning. Every teacher knows that no two children learn in exactly the same way. Some grasp new concepts immediately, others require more time, different explanations, or different practice. Technology allows us to meet the learners where they are. A struggling learner can revisit a lesson several times without understanding is achieved. Another learner who is ready for greater challenges can further progress without waiting for the rest of the class. In this way, technology enables us to teach every child, not just the average child. And perhaps no technological advancement has generated more discussion in education than AI. For some, AI is exciting. For others, it is intimidating. Some fear it may replace teachers altogether. I do not share that view. AI will never replace great teachers, but teachers who understand and use AI wisely will have a tremendous advantage over those who choose to ignore it. Imagine you're preparing for tomorrow's lesson. Instead of spending hours searching for teaching ideas, creating worksheets, and drafting assessment questions, AI can help generate lesson outlines, suggest classroom activities, produce differentiated exercises for learners of various abilities, and even create quizzes in a matter of minutes. But let us be clear. AI provides suggestions. Teachers provide judgment. AI supplies information. Teachers provide interpretation. AI can analyze patterns. Teachers understand people. I'm almost there. AI may recognize that a learner is struggling, but only a teacher can recognize the disappointment in a child's eyes, offer encouragement, and restore confidence. That human connection remains irreplaceable. Technology has intelligence. Teachers have influence. Technology has speed. Teachers have wisdom. Technology has data. Teachers have heart. And in education, the heart will always matter the most. Our task, therefore, is not to compete with technology. Our task is to combine the very best of technology with the timeless qualities of great teaching. When that happens, classrooms become more engaging, teachers become more effective, students become more confident, and learning becomes truly transformational. Everything I have shared this afternoon is not merely educational theory. It is something I've had the privilege of witnessing in practice. At Children's International School, we made a deliberate decision many years ago that technology would not simply be another subject on the timetable. It would become the foundation upon which teaching and learning are built. Technology is woven into almost every aspect of our educational process, not because it is fashionable, but because it enables us to teach more effectively and our students to learn more successfully. One of the greatest advantages technology has given us is the power of data. For many years, teachers relied largely on intuition and end-of-term examination results to determine whether learning had taken place. Today, we can do much better. Through carefully selected digital learning platforms, we're able to monitor every single learner's progress almost in real time. The data tells us which child is struggling with a particular concept. It tells us which learner requires additional challenge because they're progressing faster than their peers. It helps us personalize learning rather than assuming every child learns in exactly the same way. More importantly, it enables us to intervene early. Instead of waiting until the end of term to determine that a learner has fallen behind, support begins while there is still time to change the outcome. That is the real power of technology. It does not simply collect information. It enables better decisions. The data also tells us something equally important. It allows us to evaluate our teaching. If several students are struggling with the same concept, we do not immediately conclude that the students are the problem. We first ask ourselves an important question. Can we teach this better? Technology enables school leaders to identify where additional coaching, mentoring, or professional developments may be required. It creates a culture in which teachers can continually learn from evidence rather than assumptions. The objective is never to criticize teachers. The objective is to support teachers so that every child succeeds. That is what continuous improvement looks like. Children do not learn at the same pace. Some require additional explanations, others are ready to move ahead. No child is held back, no child is left behind. The impact of this approach has been remarkable. Only very recently, our students participated in the International STEM Olympiad in Rome, Italy. Some schools from around the world, and even in Nigeria, proudly celebrated winning 2 or 3 medals. There was a lot of traction on social media about some schools, their kids won 2 gold medals. Well, at CIS, the same competition, our students returned home with an extraordinary 35 medals. 35 medals, competing with students from at least 115 other countries. Some of them were judged the best in the world in various categories. So to me, excellence is never an accident. It is the product of visionary leadership, outstanding teachers, disciplined students, supportive parents, and the intelligent use of technology. Let me also be very clear. Technology did not win those medals. The teachers did. Teachers who continually improve themselves, who embrace innovation instead of resisting it. Technology simply amplified the impact of excellent teaching. That, I believe, is the future of education in Nigeria. Not replacing teachers, empowering teachers, not removing the human element, strengthening it, not making education easier, but making education better. In closing, we must help our teachers to become more thoughtful innovators, ethical leaders, responsible citizens, and compassionate human beings. Technology must never replace thinking. It must strengthen thinking. It must never diminish creativity. It must expand creativity. It must never weaken human relationships. It must strengthen them. And that is why our role has never been more important than it is today. I think I'd like to just end here. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Chukuma. Thank you. Please don't go yet. Wow. Another round of applause. You know, there's no how that we won't bring in the God factor. Yesterday, when you mentioned you had an important meeting that came up suddenly, and she had to leave. So we rearranged the program to bring her up last. So whatever it is, at least she would be here. But her speech, wasn't it a beautiful way to summarize all we have been doing since yesterday? Wow. Thank you so much, ma. I'd like to invite the convener of this conference, Mrs. Edna Augusto, to make a presentation. Sorry, cameraman, I'm going to disturb you again. Please forgive us. Can we move it? Thank you. Okay, don't worry, sir. The other cameramen have come to your rescue. Thank you. Wait. Okay, the owners will move it. Just move it to the side. Thank you. To the original position, yes. Careful. No, it's fine. Thank you. It's okay. Here is fine. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. No, it's not. It's not. This is connected. Okay, thank you. All right. So you have.
Okay. Wow. Are we blessed? Are we happy? Okay. How many laptops do we have left? Yes, we have 2. Okay, let me address the laptops first. I'm going to give out the last one at the end of the day, 4 p.m. Okay, and I don't know what she's going to give out her own. She has one, I have one, so you have to lobby. You know, Mrs. Atikweju, okay, she has one, I have one. Okay, then thank you so much, Mrs. Chukuma. You know, this is my sister. You know, she's just wonderful. And there's somebody that I would like to invite to come up here. Dr. Adeola, please come up. This is the principal of Dowen College. And she's been here with us. You know, I admire her so much. Can you believe she took the MC training and she's certified? She did the exam, you know. She said, before this conference, no. And she passed. You know. And she's here, you know. She's so concerned about her teachers. Don't worry, teachers, can you stand up? They're out here. Don't worry. Yeah. I'm not being partial. I'm going to call every school. Don't worry. Okay? Please sit down. So she made them to take this exam. So let's do CIS then. CIS, please stand up. CIS teachers. Deeper Life.
They have several branches. They have several branches, don't they?
No. We have Abeokuta and Mowe. Okay. Then Straight Gate. Straight Gate. Okay. Waterbrooks. Is it Waterbrook? Yes. Okay. I'm trying to remember now.
Heritage Global Academy. Heritage Global Academy. I'm just following the list.
No, let's look at Lagos State. Lagos State. Yeah.
My people.
Ogun State. I think Ogun State. They've all gone. Nobody came back today.
They did. Some of them.
Let me let out one secret. When I came out this morning, I was just dancing. People just say, why is she just dancing? Because this conference, I'll tell you, you just say, is it a Christian conference? But the truth is that God just took the thing out of my hands. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I just don't know what's happening. We plan and then you not just see things moving. Because when we came here, last year, we just had, we were on the other side, and this year God said, no, you're going to teach. Stop talking. And then I saw people there at 4 o'clock really learning. I said, okay, this is what God really said. They're going to learn. You should teach them. And then somebody from Ogun State now told me, said, is there where we can sleep here so that we don't need to go to Abayomi? We want to stay overnight. I said, really? This is this good? So I just like, all I can say, when I came this morning, you heard my song, Abi. Who are those that heard me? They heard my song. Oh yeah, sing it for me. Sing it for me if you heard my song. You heard me dancing. I was just dancing there. And they were like, what's wrong with this woman? I was just saying, God, I don't know what you're doing here. I just thank God for the lives you are transforming. It is his own show. Okay? So, I want to say thank you to...
Sorry, finally, 2 more schools.
Okay, 2 more schools.
2 more schools. There's Corona here.
Oh, Corona, sorry. Mr. Leke is going to kill me. Corona, stand up. Yes. Okay. Let me tell you about Corona. In 2020, Corona actually set this whole MC training. I run the World Championship for Nigeria. And I was very worried about teachers. So I went to Corona schools. I said, what are you doing about teachers training? So they said, we are running, at that time, if you recall, if you are really into IT, we had MIE trains going on. People would pay 10,000 and all you are doing is what you should have done in your bedroom. And they give you rice and they give certificate of attendance. I was like, what's going on here? So they said, okay, MC is 100,000. We can't afford it. Schools could not afford 100,000 MC. And I said, why is it 100,000? And we looked at the model. They give you tea break, you have lunch. The model, that is the way the consultants want to do it. I have no problem. You see what I'm saying? And I'll tell you, they also add value. Because after they teach the MC, they don't tell you how to apply it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's their own model. But are we going to be able to get every Nigerian teacher to learn MC with this model? So I threw Corona a challenge. I said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to crash. This is before COVID. I said, I'm going to crash this MC. We are the ones supplying the vouchers. So we're going to take out all those costs. You are Corona, you have classrooms. So we're not going to take your teachers out of your school. I'll come to your school. I will teach inside your school on one condition that every teacher in your school must take MC at 10,000 naira per teacher. Before I could say Jack Robinson, the whole of Corona. Then we went to CIS, went to Meadow Hall, Chrisland. So that's how we started the MC drive. This was before COVID. So when COVID hit, many of them are already aligned. And they were running with it. And there was one funny one. I had to go to a school recently. And I was talking to the team about MC. Two of the people I was talking to just smiled. They said, we are Corona teachers. We know you. So it was a very easy presentation to the school. So Corona, up Corona.
Thank you. And the last one, please, Teach for Nigeria. Don't.
Oh, yes, I can't forget you. Teach for Nigeria. Stand up, please.
Teach for Nigeria.
Yes. Okay. So, please, if we've not mentioned your school, please start. No, there are many private schools here. I know. I know people that have just come here out of their own need to learn. So we acknowledge everybody. You are also important. And you've made my day. You've made this conference really, really wonderful. I'm so scared of what's going to happen next year. Honestly, I'm scared. I am scared. Okay. But God will do it. They say God is God's show. I should just abandon it. Yeah. Okay, so I have to acknowledge there are two principals here. And I'm going to give you, I'm going to pull this for me. Sure.
Cameraman.
People are wondering what this is all about. Maybe you read it. 10 decades of Nigeria from 10 perspectives. It's all about Nigeria. You love it. So, are you going to join us now?
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen.
And before we go, I'm going to clap for her. You make it. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
That's yours. Wow. Mrs. Augusto, don't make me emotional. Don't get me all emotional. Don't make me emotional. Okay, let's go back. So I just want to touch on a few things that Mrs. Chukuma said, things that I noted, and I think this is really, really important. One of her quotes, tools may have changed, but what hasn't changed? She used a particular word, purpose. Thank you, purpose. Tools may have changed, but purpose remains the same. And I will ask you a few questions. I would like you to tell me who will do this, if it's technology or the teacher. Who will connect students technologically? It's technology, isn't it? We're connecting them technologically. But who's going to help them develop emotional connection? The teacher. Fantastic. Who's going to help them make judgments? Who's going to inspire curiosity? Who's going to nurture compassion, empathy, and character? So who is the future of education? Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us celebrate once again Mrs. Adeola Chukuma. That was such a beautiful way to wrap up that aspect of the conference. We're not going off yet. I think I would make my own presentation now. I think I should do the draw now. And this is the order for the rest of the day. We're going to have lunch now, and then we will come back at the end of all the classes. Once you're done with lunch, you know the classes you went into yesterday, don't you? You do, don't you? So you go back to those classes. When you finish, I think we may be able to pull it up 3:30. Whatever time we finish, we're coming back here, and then we'll have the final draw. 4 o'clock. Okay, 4 o'clock. We'll come back here, have the final draw. So I suggest if you haven't eaten today, start fasting now. Start your fasting and prayer now. Okay.
MTM, I said yesterday that we have 100 MiFi, right? So we are going to give the MiFi to the first 100 people that came here today. So that's why we asked to write your names. You came late. The principals are complaining, they came late. Some people in that rain, I met people here. You deserve something. You really, when I can say, wow, they were already here waiting. So I think you also, when I said, start writing the names. So we are going to give to the first 100. But MTN says you cannot just take it and walk away. They must activate it here. So they're not going to give anybody. When you go there, they will ask for your NIN. They have some, the way they register these things. You must present them there. If you don't have it, the next person. So if you know you don't have your NIN, you don't have what, please don't waste anybody's time. And then listen carefully. You can do it at during the lunch break, or 4 o'clock when we've ended, you go back to them. They are here to make sure that they register everybody. Okay? Thank you.
So
And
to help us do that, instead of reading out 100 names, I think I only have about 10 names who didn't make the list of 100.
Don't shortcut. You have to read out the 100 names because you don't have a choice. Seriously, it's a lot. It's a lot. You don't have a choice because there are more than 200. They don't even, no, there's not that list. I just put the top one.
Okay, I get it. Oh, okay, I get it now. Okay. So I'm going to fly through this list. Can we listen after? Okay, yeah, let me do the drop. What do you want me to do first? Laptop or MTN? No, they said it should. They won't walk away with everything. Okay, on one condition. Yes, the convener says to do MTN first. You've asked me to do the laptop first, right? Okay, yes, I should do the laptop. On one condition, we will all wait quietly until I finish reading the MTN names. Do we have a deal? I will do the laptop now, then I will read out the names. Remember, there is one more laptop. If you break your promise, no final laptop. I will take it home. I will take it. Okay, so I have one here. Okay. No. It's the God factor in it again. So I said, Lord, let it be female. Akinyemi Olajumoke O. Straight Gate School. Magboro.
Wow, you know what I like about this computer? I think it went round everybody. Have you noticed it? Most schools got what? Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations to everybody. Okay, yeah. Okay, can we please maintain silence now? Can we maintain silence to make this easy? You can do all the hugs and the congratulations after. All right. So I'm starting with the first list. Akonde Abraham O. I'm just calling the names for sake of time. Ogunmefun Kehinde, Babalola Clement, Oludare Edward Olutomi, Fatai Ganiyubi, Ajobi Ewe Samuel, Yinka Babalola Tolulope, Robert E.I., Joshua Awani D., Jemima Nnamdi Iweha, Imo Etim, Bankole Oluwatosin Ayodeji, Princess Mokene, Michael Temitope, or who else? Pardon me, I don't know what, I can't pronounce that name properly. Olusoji Mayowa Ololade, Jimo Fatai Abimbola, Kolawole Olayinka Benedicta, Orea Esther Adeshino Adeyanju, Karim Taufik O Adegoke Oluwafunmilola, G. Albert Victoria Yemi Ayomide Oresotu. Okunade Sheo A. David Atama. Okeke Chiamaka Sophie Onwubuariri. Joseph Ogbonaya Obakunle Ayodeji Esther Akintola Adebodun Henry. Adebodun Henry, PhD. Abdullah Gbolahan Adedayo. 33. Ajewale Grace Ife. Kilanko Judith. Oke Stephen Ajala Akinkumi S. Abayomi Ojo. Ramon Okpeoluwa Ayola Oluwadamilare Akintade Ayomikun Abiona Oluwatomilola Ibukun Oluwa Ogoluwa Alebiosu O Daradara AH Oluwadamilare Olanike C Taiwo Rachel Afeni Sumen Sophie Onwuariri Awoyemi Tolulope Olashupo Kadiri Oshegbo Deborah. That's it. First 50 from that list. And the next 50, Mustafa Mohammed Obasi OE, Efemot PE, Valentine Igbokweze. Can we please maintain silence? So it's easy and fast. Thank you. Justina Onwumere, Abimbola Olanrewaju, James Akinyemi, Oyebamiji Sunday, Princess Mokene, Adedeji Latif F, Olutola Matthew O, Adekeye Olalekan, Adejobi Olabisi, Eningeno Ben Adama, Ramon Okpeoluwa, Oraya Esther Ojojumoke, Ajobiewe Samuel, David Atama. Yeah, I can see that, but it's a different list. Anyway, the 50 I've called, there seems to be a mix-up with this list. It's a double list. So the 50 I've called, at least are sure. Mrs. Augusto will need to resolve this, and then we'll come back to it. Some names are very familiar. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It is time for lunch. Same process yesterday. They are flying out already. Anyway, you know what to do. Once you are done, go into the classes, please. One more laptop to be given out, so don't go home yet.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please, participants, as you're going out for lunch, go out with your belongings, please.